And so for me, I don't think, like I said, I don't believe everybody from poverty has these things and thinks this way. But my experience, not only personally, but also professionally, is quite a bit. Quite often, there is a common shared belief. Okay, so the resources needed to leave poverty, and this is the interesting thing to me, is that money is the least important thing of all. And that whether they have money or they do not have money does not explain how people stay or leave poverty. If you think of people that win the instant lottery, it's gone very quickly. They many times will say it was the worst thing that ever happened to them. I think of MC Hammer, people that shoot into instant stardom. He brought all of his friends and family with him. He was bankrupt, within a matter of years and starting over. Because the skills that we don't learn are how to manage the money and how to get to the point where you can say, I can't give you $10,000 because I have to be planning for this, I have to be planning for that. So the ability to leave poverty, if we just keep throwing money at the situation, we will continue to get what we've always got. And so if we continue to do the same thing we've always done and expect a different outcome, that's the definition of insanity. And we'll do that generation after generation. So really, the ability to leave poverty is much more dependent on a number of other resources that are more softer skill resources. The most important one is to have emotional resources, to be able to control your responses, to not have that knee-jerk reaction, to be able to engage in problem solving without self-destructive behavior. So to be able to, sometimes people will say, well, you cut off your nose to spite your face. I'll show you, I'll hurt me. Those are very often ways of thinking in poverty, and to learn the skills of how do you negotiate and how do you mediate and depersonalize and regulate and put a hold on your emotional memory bank. How do you persevere through no matter what? How do you realize that you actually have choices? That just because everyone in your family has always done it this way and you've been told, we don't do that, how do you get to a point where you think, but I might want to. I could actually have a choice here. Being able to do that is being able to suspend your emotional memory bank. An example that I'll give you, that I use the metaphor of a video game. One of the students I worked with, he was a middle school student, and as a school social worker, my entire caseload was emotionally impaired middle school boys. So I always laugh because I think anyone in middle school is emotionally impaired, as it is. I think it's a developmental trait. So I had one boy, and his name was David, and I had him for I don't know how many years, through grade school, through high school, so probably almost the whole 10 years I was in the system. And David would blow up and get in trouble, and he would get sent to the assistant principal's office, who would talk to David and say, now what did you do? And you made poor choices. And David would blow up at him and cuss him out. So David spent a great deal of time in suspension, being suspended from school, or being in-school suspension, where you get no recess. Now, the out-of-school suspension was you go home and you're not allowed to do your schoolwork, which I thought was viewed as a vacation. So David, what he really wanted was he really wanted recess. And so I said to him, David, when you get a new PS2 or a new Xbox game, how do you learn to play it? When you put it in the machine, what do you do? He said, I just try it, and if something doesn't work, I try something different, or I ask friends who have played the game and they know how to get to the next level. And I said, do you ever call up PlayStation and say, this is really stupid? To get to the next level, I had to ring a bell. Why should I ring a bell? I don't want to ring a bell. Why do I need to jump to this thing and climb up a tree to get to the next level? He said, well, no, that doesn't matter. This is just what I need to do to get to the next level. And I said, and that's exactly the way the school is. You want to get to recess, and that's the next level. What do we need to do to get you to the next level? When you go into the assistant principal's office, I'm going to tell you 2 things you can say. One is you can say, I'm sorry. And 2, you can say, okay. This is how you get to the next level. I know you think it's stupid and wrong, but if you want to get to the next level, this is how you go. So, and I said, if you think you're going to say anything else, put your hand over your mouth. Now I said, now in your head, you can call him any name you want to call him, in your head. And afterwards, when you and I meet, you can call him any name you want to call him. But if you want to get to recess, this is what you need to do. Well, and the difficult thing is that David's family did not support this, because David's family felt like, no, if you didn't do it wrong, or he shouldn't talk to you disrespectfully, we value verbal aggression coming from poverty, and you stick up for yourself. So it was really difficult. He had to do something new that felt very uncomfortable, and that his family was not really supportive of, but he really wanted recess. So he went in the first time, and he did it. And I saw him, and he got recess. And he was like, I did it, and it worked. I got to the next level. By the end of the year, and as time progressed, we were able to address the behaviors that actually got him into the assistant principal's office in the first place. But it was a place to start. The principal and the teachers were thrilled. They're like, wow, what did you do? That was amazing. He's just doing so well. And I just, tried to teach him what he was supposed to say. Some people feel uncomfortable with that. They feel like that's maybe unethical or dishonest. It comes from the behavior mod portion of looking at first order change and second order change. First order change, you're looking at, can we just change a behavior? Second order is, can we change values and attitudes? Okay, but you start with the first order change, whether they are really embracing it or not. Just do it. In some of the 12-step meetings, they will tell people, just fake it till you make it. Just start doing it, and if you do it long enough, it becomes who you are and the values that you adhere to. By the end of the school year, David was telling his friends, this is how you do it. Just when you go in there, just say, okay, and I'm sorry, and you can get to the next level. And he said to me at the end of the year, he was able to look back, as we're looking back at where he had come from the year, and he said, Miss Barb, can you believe I used to cuss at him? I'm like, no, I can't. But he was, at that point, he was going to that second order level of change of, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's, so just because he's in a position of authority, you don't have to respect him as a person, but you do have to respect his position of authority. And at this point in time, and I said to David, I don't have the power to change the rules, and you don't have the power to change the rules. And the only way we'll get that power is to keep getting to the next level. So if you get to the next level and you're at the point sometime when you're an assistant principal, you will have power to change how things go. In the meantime, this is how you get to the next level. What are your thoughts about that? I do too. And I spent a great deal of time, not when David was with me, but I spent a lot of time with the assistant principal. And the children I'm working with were all emotionally impaired and had special education, and they had their own behavior plans. But it took him many months to realize that when he would hold up the student handbook of behavior, I would have to explain to him, but when you're special ed, because he would say, we can't do this for everybody because we can't do it for him because then we have to do it for everybody. And my response is, but that's